Hey, everybody. Welcome to Meddkit's Provider Spotlight, where we interview really, really amazing private practices and providers who are doing really amazing things for their community. And today we have a very special guest, a really awesome guest that we just met, Dr. Alina with Boutique Bodyworks. She is so awesome and has a lot to say today. So we're going to get started. Welcome, Dr. Alina.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we are excited to get started. So tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your story. What inspired you to open up your own practice?
Sure. Well, first of all, I should say, my background in education was all similar degrees. I was always interested in the health and wellness space
Mhm.
and wanting to empower people to be able to help themselves in that arena. So my undergraduate degrees include kinesiology, the study of human movement, concurrently with a science degree in human nutrition. But instead of doing my internship to be a registered dietitian, I went on to PT school, physical therapy. And so I had a lot of students, 3 degrees. I came down from Toronto, Canada to San Antonio, Texas to try to pay off those loans and live in a hotter climate, escape 4 months of winter. And I did that 3 years and I loved it so much. I decided to stay. And I did get tired of the hospital system, I have to say. I noticed a change, as a practitioner when I first came to San Antonio in 2006 versus my last hospital job in 2017. There's a very significant change in the way hospitals were being run, and really not for patients, I have to say. And I was tired of not being able to have the power or ability to deliver quality care the way it should be, the way people expect. And so that prompted me to open up my own clinic. And I set myself up in a way that I could make it a little low risk financially. So I built it attached to my house. I had some side yard space not being utilized. And I drew up the drawings, took it to the city. They loved the idea. They were very supportive and built it. I had it built. And that was the end of 2017. I opened my doors a little bit early because one client could not wait for me to open officially in January 2018. And so ever since, I have not looked back, and it's been wonderful. Again, the autonomy to practice the way you believe is best for people, doing that one-on-one quality care. I mean, I do take insurance in the form of Medicare for my older adults, but outside of that, I'm a cash-based practice because that's the only way you can really do this well. If you end up in the insurance kind of game, because it is, then reimbursement is a nightmare and you need a team of people. And so, that requires a whole different kind of setup of practice. And I did not want to do that, take on that financial beast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that could be a whole other interview, Dr. Alina, my Lord. But yeah, I love what you've done with your community, and I love that when you brought it to the city, they loved it. You drew up the plans and they were thrilled to have you. And you could see that there's such a need out there. And so
Yeah.
I love that, you saw a change that was happening. It wasn't favorable for the clients, for the patients that you're trying to serve. You can't do what you need to do to make them better. And
Yes.
instead of, just, curing symptoms, you're getting to the, really nitty gritty of what the core issue is and fixing it because you have the tools now to be able to do that yourself in the way that the patient needs it. So,
Exactly. You said that very well.
no,
Very good.
no, it's so awesome. And you also do a lot of things, at your practice, a lot of different things. What are all the services you provide? And I know we can see some things in the background
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. See all the Pilates equipment behind me. I have a reformer that, transforms into a Cadillac. I have the Cadillac that transforms into another reformer. I do provide physical therapy services. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, a DPT. So I also have, all my modalities as a physical therapist. I'm specialized in dry needling, and it is not acupuncture. People confuse it. It's using the same tool, a needle, but it is used in a very different application, ideally just to release trigger points in muscles, to release pain and tension, improve muscle length, ability to contract or strength of a muscle. The way that I treat with electrical stim, and also from the spinal level of the muscles of the spine to the peripheral, getting that feedback loop between the messages from the spine to the muscle and back. So you get better neuromuscular response to stimulus. And so it kind of is like a reset. And so I've had a lot of success, especially with neck and back pain. But I mean, even 2 weeks ago, I treated an older gentleman, you know, his bone on bone, bilateral knees, trying to put off that knee replacement as long as possible. We did the dry needling one time with e-stim, and he's been pain-free. He's like ecstatic because he's about to go on a 3-week cruise with his wife. And he's like, I feel great. So it's a game changer. It's a really good modality that not all physical therapists have, because it's a post-grad specialized training. And so I do have advanced certification in that.
That's really awesome. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so I have the Pilates, obviously, since I have the equipment. That's through Peak Pilates, which is a national institute. They're really dedicated to teaching classical Pilates and providing classical Pilates, which is the original Joseph Pilates method. And all the other types are like offshoots from it. So when I sought out my certification, I wanted to go to the root, you know, the source. And so you can adapt, modify for bodies as needed, but let's know what the core program is. So I did that. I'm advanced, fully comprehensive. I also have nutrition counseling services because of my nutritional degree. And then a couple of years ago, I got certified in lifestyle medicine. So that's through the prestigious board of the American Board of Lifestyle Medicine. The education was provided through the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. This is a group of doctors that for decades have been dedicated to what you spoke about earlier, being, you know, serving people in a way that really truly is more beneficial from them. Let's get to the root cause. Let's not just treat symptoms and follow protocols that are old. And let's face it, perhaps mandated by the pharmaceutical industry and the insurance industry, and not really patient forward. So we want to reverse diseases and ideally prevent chronic diseases. Of course, there's diseases that do require medications and those kinds of treatments, but we're talking about diabetes, cancer, hypertension, cardiovascular disease. These are lifestyle diseases that have to do with what we eat on a day-to-day basis, how we move or how little we move, quality of sleep, our intake of substances we know that are toxic, like tobacco and alcohol and drugs, positive social connection, because these are the factors or pillars of health that lead to quality of life and longevity, better health span as well as lifespan.
Yes. And I love how you take such a holistic approach through your background. You know, you have you're very well educated. You have a lot of different modalities and things to pick and choose from to be able to help a patient. And so I love that you're taking a look at the whole person and being able to say, oh, like, okay, this could be a cause, but I can help you through, you know, all these different ways that could be contributing to this. And so I love that you have so much at your disposal, but also kind of debunked a lot of myths about, like, I loved how you talked about dry needling. Yes, it's not acupuncture. And I think a lot because, you know, like it kind of sounds the same, or they maybe know more about acupuncture, they might assume that it is the same. So do you think there's other things that you do, if you could kind of describe things that maybe there are other misconceptions, or if you really want to drill down and say this, if you could take one thing from this conversation, this is exactly what I do, this is the only thing I want you to remember from today, what would that be?
Okay, good question. The most powerful tools everyone has at their disposal to have a better quality life, to function at their optimal best. Because let's face it, we all want to be able to live our life. That's what it's about. Having the ability to function and do the things that you love and enjoy. Well, the two most important things are what you eat and moving, keeping moving. I'm not talking running marathons. I'm not talking about things that are going to grind down your joints and wear you out faster. I'm talking about walking simply 15 minutes a day after a meal. Just once a day even is like such low-hanging fruit that we neglect, and it's easy. You just have to open the door and go down the street. You don't have to go to some fancy park or what have you. You don't need any equipment. So the biggest excuses that people put on themselves are, I don't have time or I don't have money to eat better or move better. And that's just not true. And so you can make a plant-based meal. It doesn't mean vegetarian or vegan. It just means the star of your plate are whole foods from plants. You can have a smattering of animal products in there, but it doesn't star on your plate. You have legumes, you have whole grains, and lots of vegetables with all the colors of the rainbow. Then you'll have better gut health, you'll have better brain function, etc. Anti-inflammatory for your body, so less pain in your joints. And so all these kinds of things, you know, are easily done, but people don't know how. And so though it's simple for maybe somebody like me, because I have to say I was really fortunate. My parents raised me to think this way. You know, I grew up learning how to cook with real food. It's not expensive to buy a bag of rice, buy a bag of dry beans, and a head of cabbage, and boom, you have meal for like a week. I mean, you can mix and match your other things to make it more interesting. But that's the point, though, is that it's like, that's what, maybe $10, and that feeds you for like a while. And so add in your spices and herbs to make it taste good, instead of using products that are so full of additives and chemicals, you know, to create that bliss factor so that we'll eat more, but yet it's causing disease in our bodies and inflammation. So just eating simply real food that you cook at home, sure, it takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't have to take that much. So I have a YouTube channel called Boutique Bodyworks. I have free food demos. I literally walk you, here's the clock. We're going to make this meal in 15 minutes or less. And I show you how. Yes. And it's all plant-based, real food, and shows you how to play with flavors, different ideas. And it doesn't take much time or money.
I love that because, you know, as a real person, you know,
Yeah.
we say, okay, 5 o'clock rolls around and we're trying to think about what to eat, and, you know, and obviously if it's not there, if it's not easy, we don't necessarily want to do it. And a lot of people then make poor choices, right? When things aren't readily available. And so I love that you have this cooking demo, because it's not like, you know, you're Ina Garten or Julia Child and they have the people handing them the, you know, the plates and things that are already prepped. You are doing it live, real home chef.
Just
And
a skillet and a cutting board. That's it. No mandolin or fancy, you know.
I love that. And I think a lot of people can appreciate it as much as I love Ina Garten myself. And I think her recipes are fantastic. They're oftentimes not easy. And I love that you have made it so approachable. This video is 15 minutes. You can watch it. I can show you how to do it live. You can watch me chop and get it in the pan and get it into your bellies really fast. So
And I should add, the other thing I do with during those videos, which I've had a lot of positive feedback from my viewers, is that I talk about the food benefits of what I'm preparing. So let's say I'm using, I don't know, cabbage. I talk about what is in that cabbage, the polyphenols, the fiber, the bioflavonoids, and why this is really good for what kinds of things are going on in your body. Powdered ginger, just regular ginger that you buy at the store in the spice herb section, why this is really good for you and how it can actually reduce arthritic pain if people consume it daily. You know, it reduces inflammation in the body overall, can help with allergies. So I talk about those kinds of things too while we're prepping and making things. So it's educational at the same time.
that is amazing. And I love that you have such a presence online and that you have this YouTube channel. People can obviously see you in person. But is there anything else that you do online today where you help your community?
Thank you for asking. Yes. So for people who may not be able to come in face to face, they can help themselves through the digital product that I've developed, and it's on my website. And so it's called the Bodyworks Toolbox. And it's just $12 a month, so very inexpensive. And you have at your hands, it's a toolbox. So you have tools that are in the form of videos that educate you and show you how to do various things for all the pillars of health that we spoke about earlier for lifestyle medicine. And so there's ones about social connection and stress management, how to optimize your sleep, simple little things to adjust in your day so that you sleep deeper and longer for better quality. The nutrition is free, so I link though from my YouTube to the digital toolbox. So it's all in one easy place to access. Then I do have my movement videos. So I have my own program that I've developed from fundamentals. So we learn to start moving from our center, and then we build on that. So there's like a fundamental A and B, intermediate, and then advanced, no equipment necessary, just your body, 20 minutes or less. And so that's for the strength training. And then I have the anatomy toolbox, where from every joint, from your TMJ, your jaw, down to your toes, and one for pelvic floor, which everyone needs, by the way, not just females, and at every age. So whether you're an athlete or an elderly woman, you need to work and think about your pelvic floor and keep those muscles supple and functional, just like every other muscle in our body. And so I've got videos for each and every one. And again, my thing is, it doesn't take a lot of time. So I give you maybe 1, maximum 3 exercises for all of those body parts. So let's say your shoulder's talking to you, you log in, go on and look at that one. I had a friend and client, because we've been together for a long time, he was off in Australia for a month, and he's like, Alina, what do I do for my shoulder again? And I'm like, log into your account, go to that video, and you'll be okay. And they text me the next day, oh my God, yes, thank you. So you have it 24 hours access, self-help tools that will really, because movement, this is the other thing I would have liked to say to your question earlier. Movement and nutrition, number one, but movement is so powerful in terms of its effects on our body. And so the best pain management is to keep your body moving in a gentle way. I invite people to explore their bodies, to be adventurers and explore their bodies and just safely, softly, gently move through their available ranges for their different joints and explore where they have pain if they do and where they don't, and move in that safe zone regularly. And little by little, that zone becomes bigger and they feel safe and they are no longer fearful of movement. It's a positive cycle. And so that can be very powerful.
I love that. Today you've given so many great examples of what people can do today, and totally debunking the myth, or maybe the excuse is that we don't have the time, we don't have the provisions, to make this all happen, right? But we do. And I think you brought out some of the most amazing examples. But is there something else that you feel like you hear constantly, like maybe throughout multiple clients each week, that you need to remind them of, something that they could do to move the ball forward just another inch into the right direction? Are there any things like that that you would also recommend to people watching today?
Sure. You just got to build these things into your habits. It's all about developing new habits. That's always the obstacle. And so there is a huge industry just around habit creation and the whole psychology of habit making. And I mean, change is the hardest thing for people. I mean, doing the things isn't actually that hard, but it's making it a part of your life now when you're not used to it. And so just start with baby steps. Like I said, maybe just start with walking after meals, just one meal once a day. And then maybe next week add in, sign up for my toolbox and do the fundamentals a couple times a week. Maybe do it in the morning before you get out of bed so that you feel more mobile and ready to take on the day. You just have to kind of stack your habits, build them in slowly. And once they're part of your routine, it's there and it's easier to stay on than to fall off. It can be very difficult though when you're living in a family where maybe not everyone's on board with the same things. And that struggle is very real, very real. But, I always say to people, you can't help others or enjoy life with others if you yourself aren't well. So you do have to prioritize self-care to some degree. It's not selfish. You're not being a narcissist. You need to thrive, and you'll be better available to your loved ones if you're thriving.
I totally agree. Everyone always says, when you're on the plane, who do you put the mask on first?
Right. Yeah.
I always love that. And I think about that because a lot of us, we don't prioritize self-care. We live in a very fast-paced environment where we're going, taking care of our family, taking care of friends, especially if you are the person that is considered the glue to all those
Yeah.
things, right? And so I love that, just incorporating, one little tiny thing. And then maybe once okay, you're good, you incorporated that, try one other thing and start. I love the word stack that you use, is just
Yeah.
start stacking that. Because I think it can be overwhelming for people that, they get thrown a lot of things at them. Do all of these things.
Exactly.
So,
Sometimes we need to take away and do less, actually, right?
yeah.
Which is kind of hard. Like maybe we just need to eat less of something. Maybe we just need to do less of something else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to take away, and then that could create space for healthier habits.
I love that. No one's ever said that before, and anyone that I've interviewed, it was, all these ideas, but then no one's ever said, maybe take out something,
Yeah.
do
Do
less,
less.
create more space for the thing that you want to do. So that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Never have thought about it this way. I love these interviews because every time I personally learn something new
Yeah.
every single time and get a whole new perspective, and I totally love it. So this has
Nice.
been really, really great. Before we leave off today, for the people that are listening, can you tell us, where to find you, website, social media? Obviously, we want to learn more about your online program. So if you can give us an idea of where, folks can contact you, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Sure. So very simply, Boutique Bodyworks. It's spelled just like it sounds. And you can go to my website, boutiquebodyworks.com. There you will see my program on the homepage. You also will see a menu of my services that I offer. You can contact me through there. There's also some testimonials, video. There's also the program that you can access digitally. And then I also have an Instagram. It's also Boutique Bodyworks, my handle. And then I have the YouTube channel, Boutique Bodyworks. And then Facebook, I have a Facebook page, Boutique Bodyworks. So it's all the same thing. And you can also find me at LinkedIn. But basically, you will see the kinds of things that I've been talking about today regularly showing up on those platforms. And it's pretty much free except for the digital content on my website. Yes.
That's awesome. I can't wait for everyone to check it out. And this has been an absolute pleasure. We enjoyed this conversation very much and hope to have you again soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me. And again, wellness is in our hands. We just have to choose it. We choose the bodies we have, actually. It's a choice, even when we choose not to do the things that help our bodies, that's a choice too. And, we're not our genes. Our genes are only 10%. The rest is lifestyle. So we do have a lot of control over our destiny.
I love that. I think that is an absolute perfect way to end. So for the people in the back, it is a choice. And today we can move forward in the best direction possible because we want to. So
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you.